Five Out Basketball, five segments, five takes. This is the podcast for NBA conversations. This is Five Out Basketball, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk a little bit future. Let's talk a little bit present because we've seen a lot of the lottery picks. And so me and Everton are handing out our first ever report card. Yeah, professors in this bitch. Let's get this.
Do it. So, are we going to start top to bottom or bottom to top?
We're going to go top to bottom. And so Everton, with your grading system, were you basing it just off this season or like was there still some future projections to go along with it?
Honestly, I went pretty much mostly this season. Maybe a little bit projection, but mostly this season. Mostly just grading them on what I saw from them.
So I would say I was like 95% this season, but some players, their grades are a little weird with projection, but I'll elaborate more on that why, because it will make sense.
Pretty much same.
All right, let's get into this. Is there any other grade but an A+ for Victor Wembanyama?
Literally no. He was the easiest grade on this list for me, honestly. A+, no debate. Literally
Honestly, do we even need to talk about this? Like, do the listeners really need to know how good Wembanyama was?
I think they've heard enough. We talked about him enough. The media's talking about him enough. If you're a basketball fan, you know about Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, I already had him in the top half of my top 30 players in the NBA, so I think we know.
Yeah, we're aware that he's an A+. No.
My only question is, did he set the standard too high for an A+, or are we gonna see some more A's in the future? So I think Wembanyama is a very high standard. Like I should have given him like an A++.
Yeah, I think he's just too high standard. Like I feel like there's gonna be other A+ seasons for rookies. They're just not Wemby, but that's not a diss to them. It's just Wemby's just.
So I will be honest, I do have maybe one or two more A+, but I just want to make it clear. I know they're not at Wembanyama's level, but that's way too high of a standard to set. Like Wembanyama got like some extra credit to go along with it as well. So just remember that.
Yeah, I had one other A+. The rest are kind of just B, C's, couple D's.
Okay. Well, then let's go to Brandon Miller because that was actually my only other A+.
You had A+ for Brandon Miller?
I do. Hey, if they're willing to build your franchise for you instead of LaMelo Ball, that's so impressive in my eyes. I thought Brandon Miller was awesome.
I had an A. I felt like A+ was a little but like A because one, when they drafted this man, those Hornets fans were sick.
Yeah.
They were like, oh no. And he ended up being a really good player. Like, honestly, damn near most consistent player this season. Let's just be honest. But I think not only just what he did this season, because he showed a lot this season. I think he was really good this season. I know Wemby and Chet kind of stole the limelight, but Brandon Miller's been really good this season. Showing both ends of the ball too, showing great athleticism and all that. And then a little projection for the future. Dude, he could literally be, let me not say his name because you might get upset. Paul George.
Don't ruin Brandon Miller for me, please.
Hey, that's his GOAT, right?
Don't ruin Brandon Miller for me, please. All right. Quick hating. Everton wanted to get me in the mood to hate, and that's perfect going to pick number 3.
That is perfect.
And I mean, I hated it a little bit, but I don't think I overhated. Like, it's not my worst grade, but I gave Scoot Henderson a C-.
I gave him a D. Pause. I'm not gonna say pause for every time I say D, by the way, but I give him a D, bro. I think the biggest thing for me is they said he was the most NBA ready, more NBA ready than Wemby.
His expectations were so high.
Can't get past that, bro. I just can't. Like, I think he had some bright moments this season, a lot of lows. His lows were so low. I'm not gonna lie. His lows were really low. But he has some bright spots where I'm like, okay, he can still end up being a really good player. And I think he will be. And that's why I didn't give him an F, honestly.
Yeah.
I damn near was like, I could give this dude an F. But I'm like, nah, I think he'll still end up being a good player. And I think he had some good moments, so I'll give him a D. But not enough to get him up to a C for me.
I mean, he just cracked it probably like a 72% or something like that. But just the thing is, like, the expectations were so high, but like I tried not to think about the expectations setting this. I just wanted to look at like their season alone. And it's just like the numbers, like they're okay. Like I can't complain too hard. And like when I look at other rookies, I'm like, I can't put Scoot Henderson in the same caliber as some of these rookies. Like I still thought he could have made like all rookie second team. I still think that as well. It's just he was supposed to be the second best guy in this draft and it just was not that. So that's why I think that's a C- in my eyes.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah, that's fine.
So then we're gonna move on to Amen Thompson. And this is where I was bringing up a little bit of projection because I think my rating's a little low. I gave him a B plus.
Okay. I gave him a B, just flat B.
Wow.
Here's why.
I thought I
Like,
was low.
no, okay, here's the thing. I don't think he's a bad player. And I
Not at
think
all.
honestly, this season, he kind of got one of his injuries started off like he started off injury, stuff. But then like his minutes were weird, right?
Yeah.
He was playing behind another point guard.
Mm.
But when he was playing, I was like, yo, this dude's actually
Yeah.
good. The thing with me is the shooting. Is
So bad.
both of them. We'll get
Mm.
to the other guy obviously next.
Mm.
He
But
cannot
yeah.
shoot. And
So
the thing is, as
what's
a
up?
point guard,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I do
This
think he's a good player.
yeah, that's why I need to start talking. Because I do give us a higher grade than I give Amen Thompson. But
Mm,
Amen Thompson was supposed to be a point guard, okay? And
mm.
so let me talk about the strengths first before I dog in on him.
Yeah,
What already top 5 athlete in the NBA? It's
yeah.
ridiculous what this guy can do. Crazy dunker, and but this is where I get into issues. He's supposed to be a point guard, okay?
Mm,
He can't dribble the ball yet. He can't shoot the ball yet, and his passing's not what we thought it was. So bad, where like he was playing power forward center minutes at like 6'5". That's such a red flag to me. And I love the Rockets, and I'm against Amen Thompson for that reason.
mm.
And the Rockets need shooters, and they already have like they got Cam Whitmore's and all this. Like, I'm starting to struggle to see a future where Amen Thompson's gonna blend into this Rockets team, and that's what made me
Yeah,
give him a lower grade. Because like the skills are clearly there. It's just
yeah.
if you're a point guard where they're gonna be because like they're looking for a point guard, like that's what they might draft, and like he's gonna find his way out of the rotation at this rate, and that's concerning to me. And that's why I gave him a lower grade than I think other people would have.
Yeah, honestly, for me with a man, I never really saw him as a point guard. I know he was listed at point guard and all that, but I always saw him as a wing. I just feel like he's
Yeah,
more to be a wing than he is to be a point guard. You know what I'm saying?
no, and I
Because
agree.
because of the height, length, and jumping ability, I feel
Yeah.
like he's more of a wing to be honest.
Yeah, and if you can't dribble, like if they don't trust you to take the ball up the court and your passing's not there and your shooting's not there, how are you supposed to be a point guard?
Exactly. Those are literally essentials as a point guard.
Yeah, so I see him more as a wing, but it's just the Rockets have wings.
Yeah, they
It's like
do.
I struggled to see the fit for a man on this team, which hurts because I think he's a great player, but that's what affected my rating.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So that's why on the other Thompson because I gave him an A minus a star.
I gave him a B plus. I think he was obviously been better than his brother, so
Yeah.
I couldn't want to be and the other want to be the
Mm.
same. I think with a sore, his defensive really, really good. Like we saw
So good.
so good. I think the biggest thing for him and why I didn't give him an A is his offensive struggles really, really, really bother me.
Yeah.
Because I think he can develop into a good offensive player. Don't get me twisted. But I
Mm.
don't want it to become one of those Jared Vanderbilt kind of dudes where phenomenal defense, but you
Yeah.
damn can't have him on the court because of how bad he is on offense, you know?
That's real. That's a good point. That actually kind of makes me want to give him a B plus, and then I think I'm gonna copy your grades.
Because it's like, okay, if you can lock up everybody, cool. But if I can't have you on the court, what can you bring to this team?
Mm.
Especially in a situation for the Pistons where spacing,
Yeah.
who can shoot,
No
right?
one.
So it's almost hard to play him on the court for the Pistons because it's like Cade is damn near gonna be your best shooter. Nah, man.
No.
So I couldn't give him an A just because of that. But I think he will be a good player. I'm hoping he does develop those offensive skills for sure. But I'm gonna roll with a B plus.
I like that. I like that. One of who I don't like,
Hmm.
Anthony Black. This was my first D of the day. Because here's
Yeah.
the thing. I know you can say he doesn't play, but the Magic's biggest need is a point guard that can pass the ball. And if they can't, if that's what your strength's supposed to be, and they still don't play you, you might suck.
Yeah. For me, I gave him a D as well because it's like I actually still think he will be a good player. I actually do like Anthony Black. I kind of have high hopes for him.
Mhm.
But you work perfectly. You hit that right on the head. Like their literally whole thing is we don't have a point guard. And you're looking at Anthony Black, it's like, nah, we can't play this guy.
Get
Like,
Markel in the
why?
game.
Like what? Like what is he either because clearly they're seeing something that we don't. Um,
Exactly.
so at the end of the day, I can't give a guy in his with the numbers he had and like stuff like that. Because usually, all right, in a man's case, it's like, all right, they have a point guard, so it makes sense why they're not playing you to start.
Yeah.
For Anthony Black, it's like, okay, why aren't they starting you?
Exactly.
You know. So D is probably the highest you could maybe say C because you really think he'll be that guy in the future, but I think the
But
highest you go is
yeah, but the thing, we try not to go off projections here. This was just off this season alone.
yeah.
Like I know I had a little bit for a men, but that was really the only time I brought in projections. Actually,
Mm,
one more time I bring in projections, but that's a little bit later.
okay.
But
Okay.
we'll get there soon. But first, we got to talk about Bilal Koulibaly. This is a straight B, I think.
B.
Yeah.
I went. Yeah, I mean, I went C plus only because like he started off the season really good, like his efficiency was really good. Then
Uh-huh.
the end of the season, it was kind of like, ugh, you
Uh-huh.
know. And the thing with Bilal is I think he'll be a solid player, but I don't really know how good this dude's gonna be. Like I can't tell if he's gonna be, I don't know, Patrick
Mm.
Williams or like OG. Like I think he could be an
Yeah.
OG kind of player where like he could play some good defense, long wing,
Hmm.
and space the floor. But I also don't know if he could reach those heights. I don't know. He's very young. I think he's one of the youngest players in the league, if not the
Yes, he
youngest.
is.
So a lot of room to grow. But C plus for me, because
Mm.
like to have his numbers drop like that is just like okay, you know.
Yeah.
And he's on Wizards too, which might not help his case to be honest.
Mm.
But
I don't think it does. That was what I was gonna say. Like, I think a little bit of Wizards tax, which kind of hurts your numbers because like you kind of have to be a solo creator in that team, and that will never be Bilal Koulibaly's game. He'll never have to be, should not be the one creating his chances. So I try not to hold that one against him because like, hey, if you're still playing 27 minutes a game, you're getting like a solid 9 points, almost a whole block and steal. Like, there's so much potential here, and like I, for how crap Washington's been, he was their one kind of bright spot. And I think he's gonna be a solid three, not a 3 and D player, but a defensive guy that can also get you a bucket when it's needed. So I see some potential. I gave him a B.
did you also consider where like the position they were drafted in at all or no?
No,
Okay, okay, cool. Just making sure.
got you. But up next, we're gonna go Jarris Walker, and this is my only other projection. I gave him a C.
Yeah, I gave him a C plus because like um while his production wasn't crazy, one his G League numbers were so
So,
insane.
so
I can't
yeah.
just act like that didn't happen.
No, no, exactly.
Two, I really think he's gonna be a really good player. I'm not gonna
Mm.
lie. I think he's gonna be a good player.
I'm
I
just
think
worried where I'm worried where
that
his fit's gonna be in Indiana.
that's what I was gonna say. The thing that worries me is where is he gonna get his minutes at? Um, but I do think honestly he could become so good. He's undeniable, you
Mm.
know, and he could play the three. I don't see him where like he's just hammered to the four, you know. I think he could slide over to the three. I don't know how successful him at three could be, but it could definitely happen because he's has the capabilities of it. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just high on Jarris Walker. I think he could be a really good player.
Yeah, I feel that same way as well. You kind of took the words right out of my mouth. It's just he's so athletic. He's a great scorer, and Indiana loves to score the ball, so that's like a perfect fit. It's just there's just so many big men there. It's really hard to figure it out. So that's why he had a lower rating. Some of
Mhm.
these guys didn't play, so they get bad grades. But like Jarris Walker is incredible.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So this is my favorite rating of the day.
Yeah.
Taylor Hendricks, I gave no rating because I said earlier I do not watch Utah Jazz basketball. So I literally don't like. I'm not gonna lie here and like. So here's my rating. Here's why I think this. I have
Mhm.
no idea. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys.
I'll be completely transparent. I gave him a C because I didn't know what else to do. Like I said, I said, all
They're
right, let me.
so irrelevant, man. They're so poverty in Utah.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna just do a C because I don't know if he was terrible or if he was good. So I'm gonna just do a C flat line. But it
Uh-huh.
was probably better if I just did no ranking because I
Yeah,
literally could not tell you good or bad about this guy.
yeah.
Literally
Because
could not.
here's the thing. Like, at least with Keontae George, like I've heard some things on Twitter, so maybe I could have done something. I know
Yeah.
nothing about his game. I know nothing about Taylor Hendricks, so no rating.
No rating. I damn near forgot he was even a rookie this season. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie. I didn't hear a
Not real
thing.
talk. And we'll see a couple of those later in the lottery as well.
Yeah, I know there's one or two more,
Yeah.
but could
But it's definitely not gonna be up next because we're gonna go to Case and Wallace. I gave him a B plus because he snatched Trey Man's chain.
that's what we were talking about. That's what we were talking about. Yeah.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. This might be Thunder Tax. I gave him an A. Now, what?
That's thunder tax. That's a little
I
too
know.
much. That's doing too
That's
much.
why. That's why. But here's the thing, bro. One, him coming in and snatching Trey Man's chain is cool. But I
Mm,
think the biggest thing for me to come in and not only do exactly what we drafted you for, but do more. Like we drafted him for his defense, and I didn't even know he could shoot like that.
Yeah.
Coming in and shooting 40% from three, and he was efficient the whole season, while
Mm.
also being low key, like our third best defender.
Yeah.
A team that ended up being a top 5 defense. Look, Trey Man's chain got snatched. Giddy, your chain ain't safe. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-mm.
Like, Queso wants to come in, and that's partially why I gave him A, because I think he can project it to being like a starting level like a championship level starter, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of players can't say that, especially at the 10th pick, too.
Mm.
But I'll call spade, a little bit of thunder tax. A little bit of thunder
Yeah,
tax.
because my only thing is like I don't know how you can give him and Brandon Miller the same rating after this season.
Wait, what did I give Brandon Miller?
You gave him an A.
Oh, damn. You know what? I forgot I gave him an A. I'll lower it to a B plus. I'll be fair, because that's low key crazy.
I respect that. But you were spot on with your reasoning. Like I don't disagree with what you said at all. It's just it was a little high for that reasoning.
Yeah. You know what? With that in mind,
Mm.
B plus.
Yeah,
B
because
plus.
a rookie guard, they're known for not being efficient at all. He's shooting 46% from the field and 41% from 3 point. That's incredible. The,
And play defense.
yeah, the Thunder. I don't know how they keep getting away with this.
I don't know either, man. I'm just happy.
But you want to know who's not getting away with a shit pick?
The
We're back on
Magic.
shitting on the Magic. The Magic had a disaster of a draft. This is my first F of the day.
Glad we agree.
Yeah. Jet Howard did nothing. He's never gonna do anything. He's gonna be a G leaguer for life.
I gave him F two. I damn near said no rating, but I'm like, nah. I
Mm.
saw this. He's an F.
Yeah. Because
Like,
you wanna oh keep going, my fault.
how do you reach on 2 picks?
No, literally.
What the
Especially
heck?
when one of your biggest issues is you don't have a center that can rebound. And then the
And
pick after is Derek Lively.
who we'll get into that actually. I don't want to say anything,
Yeah.
but
No, let's get
yeah.
into it because why are we talking about Jet Howard? Who cares? No one's here for Jet Howard. They're here for Derek Lively. That's an A.
I almost gave him an A plus. I
Yeah.
was really
If
close to
I'm
giving him
saying
an A.
if he was starting still, he would be an A plus.
I was
But
really
low
close.
key, he got his chain snatched.
Low key, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, he's still an A. Still an A. He's incredible. Freak athletic, can rebound, can block shots, can get you a points when you need it. And no one had those expectations. Like I remember first day, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be the Victor Wembanyama show," and Derek
Yeah.
Lively goes, "Bet, let's go band for band."
Yeah, bro. I was like, I heard about him. Obviously, I knew Derek Lively. He was the #1 ranked player coming out of high school, so I knew about Derek Lively, and I knew, when they drafted him, I knew what they were drafting him for. But I'm like, all right, it's 1B show, and I'm like, whoa, why is Derek Lively like low key doing his thing right now?
Yeah.
And he was just good all season. I know low key got his chain snatched, like low key,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, he showed a lot of promise as a rookie, and I think he'll overtake Daniel Gafford within the next 2 years. Honestly, like
Oh,
I think
definitely.
Daniel Gafford is the option right now, but I think moving forward, Derek Lively is
Mm.
their 5. But yeah, Derek Lively, man, hell of a rookie, and rest in peace to his mom.
No, don't get me emotional on here now, bro.
My fault.
Yeah, no, super sad story, but dude, they're still living together. Like, oh my god,
It was so sad, bro.
that's every man's biggest nightmare, bro. Like,
literally, bro.
so
But
moving
yeah,
on from that, let's talk about Dick.
let's talk about Dick.
I was struggling between two ratings. I was between
Yeah,
a B and a B minus. I'm settling with the B minus because like he was the first half of the season was just so bad, but the second half of the season like he increased his efficiency. Like he had a couple 20-point games. You can see why the Raptors drafted him. Just
yeah.
the first half was so bad that like I couldn't like I originally wanted to give him a B plus. I was like, no, Joey, we're shooting a little too high. But it's just the 3 point shot's finally starting to get there, and he's gonna be a pivotal part of this Raptors team for the future. So that's why I had to give him around that range.
I'm not gonna lie, I gave him a C.
You a hater.
I probably am a
You
hater, but
hate Dick.
here's the here's the thing behind it. I felt like, look, I can't give Scoot a D and give Grady Dick a B because
Uh,
Grady Dick had a like I said, terrible first half of the season. And yes, he turned it up more than Scoot did. I will admit that, right? But it's not to the point that like his efficiency got better, but like he didn't turn up to the point where it's like Jalen Green had a baby type turnaround. Like it was just a solid turnaround. So I can't raise him a whole 2 letter grades over Scoot, who kind of had the same situation, right? So I left with a C because I feel like his first half being terrible and the second half being good mellows out of average.
mm.
So
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You convinced me. I'm moving that to a C plus. Good work, Everton. We're not going to debate that. That was a great point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because if it was strictly second half, it'd probably be closer. It would be a B for sure.
Yeah.
But if it was strictly first half, it might have been an F.
Oh,
right?
it would have been enough.
Right. So I feel like when you put those two together, because you can't just always look at one side, you have to look at the whole thing. I'm just off of that.
Yeah, that was a little bit of recency bias on my end. Will not lie.
Respect.
Then this one, I had a little bit of a hard time talking about
me
Jordan Hawkins.
Yeah,
because
me too.
it's just like you see it when he's on the court. He's what the Pelicans need with a shooter. Just the minutes don't always appear.
No.
So I went with a B.
You went with a B?
Yeah.
I went with a C. Again, it might be hate low key, but the thing is, like you said, with the minutes, it's a little weird, but also his efficiency was a little bit shaky. Let's be honest, right?
A little bit.
He shot sub 30.
Yeah, I just don't think his lows were as low as Scoot Henderson and Grady Dick. Like, I'm not saying he was consistent the whole season, but I was felt like with this consistency a little bit more. So
and
that's why I let him be a little higher, B minus.
I think the other thing is, and maybe I should have said this earlier, I guess I do kind of factor expectations a little bit. And Jordan Hawkins was supposed to be the second best shooter in this draft, if not first. It was supposed to be him and Dick. Supposed to be him and Grady Dick. As the two best shooters in this draft. And for him to go out there and not be that efficient, granted, like I said, the minutes was a little bit weird for him, so I will cut him a little bit. That's why he didn't get like a D, you know. So I just mellowed out as a C because I'm like, I do think he'll end up being the guy they drafted him to be, but right now, take some time.
Yeah, these shooters need more time. I gotta have a little less expectations for shooters when they first come out of the draft.
Yeah, for sure, dude. You never know because it's college 3 versus NBA 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna note that for the future. What I am gonna note is the last pick of the lottery is probably another F, no question.
Who is it?
Kobe. I keep messing up last name. It's Bufkin.
I think it's Kobe Bufkin. Did he play?
No, that's why it's just an F.
Okay.
You got like 10 minutes a game shooting 22% from 3. Yeah, toast. We're not going to elaborate much on that no more.
I'll be honest. The only thing I really know about this dude is in 2K, he has the like pigtails or whatever. That's literally all I know.
That is your legacy, Kobe.
That's your legacy, bud. I ain't gonna lie. That's all I know about this man.
Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the 5 Out Podcast. I am Joey, the LeMaster, and me and Everton are so thankful for your guys' support. If you want to keep supporting us, please check out the full podcast on Spotify and follow our TikTok account. Both of those will be in the bio, and make sure to leave a like and stay smooth.